I'm doing great, sir. How are
Good.
you?
I'm good. Enjoying playing this one again.
I haven't seen you break out that guitar in a while.
Yeah, well, it was tuned. Normally, I tune it down a half step and then I drop tune from there, and I play it in one of the bands that I'm in that tuning. But so oftentimes the strings are set up for that kind of tuning, and there's still those strings on here right now. So they're a little thicker than I normally would play in standard tuning, but so often I'll have a guitar that I'll tune a certain way, and then I only use it for that band and those rehearsals and those songs, and then it just sits there and it collects dust in between the rehearsals and stuff like that, and then I feel bad. So
I hear you, man. Well, it sounds great.
yeah,
And
it's a fun guitar to play.
yeah, no reverse headstock. It's cool.
Yeah,
Man, dude, thanks for being here. And I want to thank everybody for joining us as you're kind of coming in here and trickling in as we're starting this live session. I want to thank all of you for being here. Great privilege every single time that Steve and I do one of these and we see that anybody shows up. It's like, yes, somebody came to see us.
Yep.
We're not going to be alone. The running joke with Steve and I is if nobody shows up, you and I'll have a little live session.
yeah.
It'll be great. So, hey guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up, taking your time to be with us. And listen, if you want to learn some blues guitar, keep watching. If you want to learn it even faster, check out Steve's new course. It's called Blues Guitar by Steve Stine, and it's available at guitarzoom.com. Everything we're doing in the Blues Guitar Workshop series, guys, is related to Steve's new course, Blues Guitar. We've done a lot of these sessions already. If you missed any of the previous Blues Guitar Workshop series, all you got to do is go to the Guitar Zoom YouTube channel, click on playlists, and you'll see there's a playlist there that we put all of the live recordings. We save them as a video, and we put them there for you on YouTube so that you can go back and watch them at your leisure. Leisure? Pleasure? I don't know. Anyway, all right, guys. So look, if you got any questions, pop them in the old comments box. You can always reach out to us also to our support group if you have any questions about the course or anything like that. It's we have a nice group of people over there who will happily help you choose the right course for you. Or maybe you're watching this, you're like, I don't know about blues guitar or whatever. I was checking out Steve's Blues Licks course or the Masterclass series or something. You can always send an email to support@guitarzoom.com. And they can help you choose the right course. Oh, and I forgot, we have the Help Me Choose feature, Steve. That's sort of, well, it's not that recent, but people really like that thing. The Help Me Choose, you can go to the website. I think you click on Help Me Choose, and then there's like this quiz thing that Steve put together for you that says, you know, are you a beginner or you're not a beginner? Play electric only, acoustic only, or both? And you go through this little series of questions, and it says, here's the course for you. Just a couple of resources there for you. So anyway, Blues Guitar Workshop, all related to Steve's new course, Blues Guitar by Steve Stine, available at guitarzoom.com. Steve, today we're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, I have this written down. It is playing the 12-bar blues in any key, which I would think would be kind of an important skill to learn.
Yeah, I saw from our last session, I saw there was a number of questions about this that maybe I didn't go far enough into. So I thought it'd make for a perfect discussion. It's just understanding that your chords, your scales, all those things are all simply movable. That's the beautiful thing about the construct of the way the guitar is set up, is that everything is movable. So if you were playing 12-bar blues, let's say in the key of A, right? Again, whether you're playing A major or A minor, or it doesn't matter, whatever it is you're doing. So if I was using A7 and D7 and E7, and remember, we talked about how I was calling it a 1-4-5. And I went A, B, C, D, E, 1, 4, 5. A, D, and E are my three chords I'm using. A, D, E, which would be the first chord in the key of A, the fourth chord in the key of A, and the fifth chord in the key of A. Well, the cool thing about guitar is that if I wanted to play in the key of G, I could simply move down to G and play the same shape. 1, 4, 5. Or seventh chords. 1, 4, 5. Now, how does that work? Well, if I was in the key of G, G, A, B, C, D, G, C, D, right? So again, you have to know that, the guitar only has the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, and G on it. It doesn't have an H or an L or a Q or something like that. But just trust me when I say, when I was learning this stuff, again, I didn't understand my theory, but I understand visualization. So if I went 1, 4, 5, that shape, if I moved down to G and played the exact same shape, it would have the same function. It would just be lower in pitch. Or if I went down to F. So I can play in any key, and this is going to be the 1 in the key of F. This is going to be the 4 in the key of F. This is going to be the 5 in the key of F. And I like to teach people that because oftentimes, especially if you don't really know all your theory, if you're using my thing here of going G, A, B, C, D, and I say, okay, so play a 1, 4, 5 in the key of F, you'd go F, G, A, B, C, F, B, C. Well, it's not F, B, C, right? It's F, B flat, C. So that's one of those situations where you actually can find it oftentimes faster on your guitar than you can figure it out in your head in terms of the right theory. And don't feel bad about that. That's okay. It's okay to be able to look at your guitar and figure out what the answer is. Just like a piano player might look at the piano and figure out what an answer is. So that's what we're doing here, is learning that idea of the 1, the 4, and the 5. Again, regardless if you're playing it as 7th chords or minor or whatever, they're all movable anywhere you want to go on the guitar. So if you choose a really weird key, like let's say you choose the key of B flat, and you're going to want to play a 12-bar blues, well, you've got to know where B flat is on the 6th string. So, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Okay, so there's B, so B flat, right? So I'd go back 1 from B, and that's where my 1 would be. My 4 would be underneath me, and my 5 would be 2 frets higher. And the nice thing about all of that is your scales work the same way. So if you wanted to play a B flat minor pentatonic scale, even though that sounds really complicating, you would find B flat. And again, you'd have to know the notes on your 6th string, right? I mean, you got to have some knowledge of how this works. And you'd go to that B flat, and you play your... And the beautiful thing about that minor pentatonic scale that we're learning right now, this shape, is that it's movable. Anywhere you go, it's going to look the same. So if I want to play in G minor, I'm going to move down to G. I'm going to play the same thing. If I want to play an F minor, I'm going to move down to F. So any of that information is movable anywhere you want to go in any key.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
One of the things that Steve and I noticed is that some of the questions and comments in this blues guitar workshop series that we're doing for you here is like, how do you play a G pentatonic, or how do you play an A pentatonic, or how do you play a 12-bar blues in A? How do you play it's like, that's the whole point of this particular session, guys, is that you need to understand that once you got that 12-bar blues, that form that he's showing you, the 1, 4, and 5, it goes anywhere. All you got to do is choose your string. And even if you don't even know the actual note that it is, that form never changes. You could play it on the 12th fret. You start on the 12th fret, and it's the same form.
If you devoid your brain of black and white keys on a piano or sharps and flats in a key, if you kind of blank that out and just understand in a general sense, if you're in the key of G and you're doing, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? You're singing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And you move to G sharp and you sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, you're doing the same thing you did in G. You're just doing it a little higher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to do B, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, you're just moving up to B and doing the same thing. Now, when you do that, of course, in the background, the notes are changing and all this sort of thing is happening. But on the top side, it's just do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do is happening in whatever key you want to put it in, right? So that's the thing to remember, is that, if somebody said, hey, let's play blues in F, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've never played in blues in F in my life, you have, because you've played any key that you've ever played in. All you're going to do is move down to F and play 1, 4, and 5, and then your minor pentatonic. Now, needless to say, all of these concepts can be expanded. F minor pentatonic doesn't just exist at the 1st fret. It's all over the fretboard. Just like G is all over the fretboard and D is but these are all concepts that you have to work your way into, right? I mean, I can play 1 chords. If I was playing 1, 4, 5 in the key of G, I can play G other places on the guitar. It doesn't have to be at the 3rd fret here. right? I could play G all over the guitar. But again, those are, I don't want to say advanced, but they're advanced concepts from where we are right now. And this is where I always caution people, if you don't know how to play, if you don't know level 1, don't try and do level 7, because there's all this stuff in between that you're going to excitedly go to level 7 and go, oh, this is really great. But then there's all these things missing in between where you're going to go, at some point, your brain's going to go, I'm missing information here. I'm not putting this together. And then your comfort goes away, and your confidence goes away, and your understanding goes away. And so that's why you always want to start with just something very straightforward and understand the idea. So if you want to play, a great thing to do is just think about it in your head. If you wanted to play 12-bar blues in the key of D, the first thing you'd have to do is you'd have to know where D is on the 6th string. And then you can plug your 4 in underneath and your 5 2 frets higher. Now the second thing, I should say the third thing really, is if you wanted to explain to somebody what you are playing, you would have to know what the chords are or the notes are on the 5th string as well, right? Because you'd have to know this is a D and this is a G and this is an A. To explain it to somebody doesn't mean you couldn't play it. You could play it without understanding anything about it. But if you want to tell your buddy, hey, the 12-bar blues in the key of D is D and G and A, right? You'd have to know what those notes are. And I know this because, again, when I was a kid and I was learning power chords and bar chords, I could learn songs by ear. I had a really good ability, and I still do, of figuring out things by ear. So I could figure out songs, whatever they are. Right? And again, I'm playing it wrong so YouTube doesn't block me, right? But I could figure out a song, but that doesn't mean I knew what all the things were I was playing, but I could memorize by visualization. I could memorize by how many, frets they were apart and what it looked like. And I've always had this construct in my brain of visualization of, which I think most guitar players do versus maybe some other instruments, but they build these shapes. Like everything that you do builds these various shapes. So this 145 is a shape collection, right, of 3 different things. And I just plug it in wherever I want to go. And I can play my blues there. And then I take the shape collection of pentatonic and plug that in there as well. And I'm not saying that learning the notes and learning the theory behind them, I'm not saying those things aren't important. What I'm saying is you have to do things in a logical order.
No, it's great stuff, dude. I was just thinking about one thing that might help people, a resource that they may or may not know about, is your course, Unlocking the Fretboard Connection. Guys, that's one of the best-selling courses Steve's ever done, and it continues to sell every single day at guitarzoom.com. It's just one of those courses that people absolutely love. The reviews are insane, and it really opens people's mind up to understanding how the diatonic scale and the pentatonic scale fit and link together all the way across the fretboard, which would be, if that's something that you're interested in, that's a resource that we have available for you at GuitarZoom. That's called Unlocking the Fretboard Connection. I just thought about that as you were talking about those moving around the fretboard, and you got to at least know the notes on your 6th string, for example, and then visualizing how those patterns go together and all of that. The Blues Guitar Workshop series that we're doing, guys, for you today, obviously is about, I don't want to say the modulation. It's about being able to play the 12-bar blues in any key, just using that visual technique of the 1-4-5 Steve showed you there, and then it applies for the pentatonic scale as well. Everything that Steve's talked about today is in his new guitar course. It's called Blues Guitar by Steve Stine, and it's available at guitarzoom.com. We've done a lot of these workshop series for you guys. We've done basic soloing, where Steve talked about the tools you need, the touch and the tone to create a basic blues solo. We've talked about the blues scale. We've talked about minor blues. We talked about major blues. Today we talked about playing blues in any old key that you want, how these chord progressions are totally modular. They're totally movable, and also the pentatonic scale and how we moved into any position. And we have some more series prepared for you that we're going to be doing live. So if you'd like to get notification of that or notice of that, click subscribe and click the old notify button, and you'll get a little notice, little alert. Hey, we're going live. We try to do them at the same time. Can't always do it at the same time, but we try to be consistent for you. And of course, all of them will be saved for you in a nice, tidy playlist at the Guitar Zoom YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this session, you might want to check out Steve's course, Blues Guitar by Steve Stine at guitarzoom.com. Steve, what else do you want to add to this, my friend?
I think that's enough.
I think it is too. Guys, thanks again for being here. Really appreciate you. We'll see you in the next session. See ya.
Awesome. Take care, everybody. Talk to you soon, Dan.
See you, bud.